Welcome back, everybody. We're back from our little brief hiatus for the best bets for March 6, 2024. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's had a good middle of the week. I'm excited for today's slate. I got 5 plays I absolutely love and a parlay of the day that we are putting through that I think is absolutely amazing today. It's one of my favorite plays. Once again, thank you to our sponsors, Ryan Allison Tattoos and Durham Remodeling, for sponsoring this video. Let's get right into it. If you can hear that, I apologize. My cat is in the back going crazy right now, so I do apologize about that. But like I said, let's get right into this. So first one we're going to take today is Magic versus Wizards under 224.5. Y'all apologize. Give me 1 second. You gotta love cats. I apologize, everyone. Didn't want to start the video off that way, but they're just going absolutely crazy behind me. But again, let's start with our first play of the day. It's going to be the Magic versus the Wizards. We're taking the under. Now, I know there's been big news around the unders lately. Unders have hit at a very high rate since the All-Star break. They're starting to go away from it a little bit. Games are starting to kind of go over. Ironically, a bunch of our plays today are totals, but I do like the under in this game for a couple of reasons. The Magic are on a back-to-back, so we're looking for a very slow-paced game. The Wizards have been under magnets lately. Under has hit in 9 of their last 10 home games in Washington. The Magic have only went over this total once since the All-Star break. They're 16-20 on the under. We're looking at two teams who have one team just struggled to score after losing a lot of pieces at the trade deadline, and looking at one team who just loves to control the pace and play slow and force you to play their game. They are missing a couple of defenders in Isaac and Gary Harris tonight, but again, I still do like this underplay at 224.5 for Orlando versus Washington. So we're going to go ahead and take that right now under 224.5. I would take this down to 223.5. Anything lower, I would kind of stay away from it. But that's where we are at currently. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Again, first play of the day, Magic Wizards under 224.5. Let's go on to our second play of the day. Second play is going to be Philly versus Memphis. And we're fading the public here. We are going to take the over. Now, there's a big reason for that. It's a reverse line regression play. So I'm going to pull up the stats on that real quick and show you guys, because this is something I absolutely love. If you guys can see the screen here. So the big thing I'm looking at here is this. As you can see, I caught this at 210.5. It's bumped up to 212. Since I did, I would still take it at 212. But if you look right here, the line started at under 214.5. And the big thing that I'm looking at in this game is simply the numbers, as I'm going to share over here. You can see on this game right here, while the under has gotten 52% of the plays, 75% has went towards the under. So a lot of people are going towards the under. But if a lot of people are going towards the under, this line should be staying low, right? They shouldn't be lifting it up a bit from where it's at 212. If you come here and you look at the line movement on the totals, you can see here right around the time that we knew for sure Tyrese Maxey was going to be out, this line went down to 209, and then it went up. And the big reason why that went up is because Jaren Jackson Jr. is still listed as questionable. I think he's more on the doubtful side. I think they're not going to take a risk with him in this game. There's not really a lot to play for them other than winning back-to-back, but I don't see that being a big thing for them. I think this would be a good time for them to let a lot of their players who don't have a guaranteed contract for next year kind of try out for the team, so to speak. So I'm taking the over here because of that. mixed with the fact that both of these teams have given up around 110 points per game since the All-Star break. Even with Maxey out, their offense tends to be a little bit more chaotic and free-flowing. It's turned into a lot of shots from Buddy Hield, Harris, and Oubre. They don't really have a point guard dominating the ball, which means a lot of these guys are getting first looks and taking them. Oubre went off for 30 last game, so I see him kind of doing that again tonight. I don't think I would take him for 30, but Buddy Hield's projected to go around 20 points. Harris is projected around 20, and I just think they match up well with this team. If Jaren Jackson Jr. plays, I'd be a lot more cautious with this one, but if him not playing, they don't really have an interior force, and with their best offensive threat being Luke Kennard, I don't see much that the Sixers can stop because the Sixers have not been the best with three-point shooting, especially without Embiid and without Maxey. So I'm relying on both these teams to just have an ugly good game. I don't think it's going to go higher. I don't think we're going to see a game that's like 110 to 120 kind of thing. But the big thing to look at in this one is simply the fact that over 210.5 or even over 212.5 is 106 to 107. I think both these teams can get to that mark, or at least one team will get close. I think this stays close enough that these teams are going to be doing intentional fouls at the end of the game, and I think this will definitely go over. So we're going to take the risk on the over at 210.5, take it up to 212 if you can find it. I think Caesar still has it at 210 last I saw, so you could take it up to 212. If it goes higher than 213, I'm not taking it. If Jaren Jackson is listed as active, I would probably stay away from this one, and I'm just going to take the risk myself. And also, while we're going live, if you guys have questions on plays, any plays you like, you guys want to shout out, let me know. Put it in the comments. We'll post it up here on the page, on our chat page. So that way, just right here, just so you guys, everyone can see your plays, everyone can get some added in plays. So let us know what you guys like today. I'm interested to see what you guys like, especially in terms of player props. I have not seen a lot I've liked too much today in terms of matchups for player props. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you guys like. And also, you could tweet it over at us for frequency's sake, at Gotham Gambling on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, wherever you guys are watching us from. Let us know your thoughts on what your plays are for the day. I want to see what you guys are also taking. Now, these next two we have one that I kind of like it, but I'm leaning more towards using it in a teaser, and another one that I really actually like tonight. I think it's going to be one of my favorite plays. And again, it's an under. We did pretty much, other than our parlay of the day that we're getting to at the end, we did all totals today. It's just kind of what I've been targeting and what looks good. So we're going to start with our play we're using in the teaser. If you want to take it straight up at the line it's at, I don't mind it. I just personally am using it at a lower value. Clippers -6.5. This is a good spot for them after a bad loss in Milwaukee that they probably should have won. They're going to want to get on the right side of this game. I'm putting a little bit of money on them to cover 6.5, but I am using it in the teaser. I haven't decided what I'm going to put it with yet, but I am taking it down to 2.5 in the teaser and adding something in with that. But mainly because the Rockets have been really good at covering at home, but coming in on a back-to-back, I'm a little wary about them. They had a game that probably should not have been as close as it was. Şengün had the game of his life and should kind of go back to normal in this one. I don't see him doing that 2 nights in a row, especially against a lot better defense. And as we saw last night, against a bad defense, their offense tend to struggle. Outside of Şengün, he scored almost half their points. So I'm taking the under here. I think this is a great spot. Their defense has been playing really well. They held a fast-paced Spurs offense to, what was it yesterday? Only 101. That game finished 101-114. So I'm confident this game will stay under, especially with the way these two defenses have been lately. So give me the under at 223. Last I checked, this line was at 223.5 still. So I'd take that down to 221. Anything lower than that, I would probably stay away from. I wouldn't touch it as much. But again, we're going with the 223 there, Clippers versus Rockets. Welcome in, everyone that's just joined in. Let us know if you guys got any plays you want to talk about, any plays you guys like today. We're going to do a fairly shorter video. We have a couple plays and a parlay of the day coming up. But let us know what you guys want. Again, taking the under here. The unders in play for both teams as a home underdog. The Rockets are 5-9-1, and as an away favorite, the Clippers are 7-14 in terms of over under. This under trend won't last long, but this is a really good spot, and we have one more spot for it before we get to our play of the day. So the last play we have before we get to our parlay play of the day, whatever we're deciding to call it, we've kind of switched back and forth. We're taking the Bucks and the Warriors on the under, and I know that is a kind of a suicide play right there. A lot of people might hate that one because this line is kind of bounced around a bit. But since Doc Rivers has taken over as the Bucks head coach, this team has been an under team. They are 1-9 in their last 10 games on the over under, heading towards the under. And same for the Warriors, they're 1-9. Steph's been in a slump, and that could have just been a road slump. We might see him bounce back tonight, but Steph's not going to score 100 points on his own. He probably won't score 60 or 50 against this team. And you're really kind of banking on Klay Thompson not to have another legacy game and go off for 30 points like he did a couple nights ago. When we did that, it wasn't against a good defense. They're going to have a better defense on him tonight in Golden State. So I don't see them scoring close to 115. The Bucks haven't given up more than 110 points in their last 10 games. Since the All-Star break, I don't think they've given up more than 105. They've held 4 different teams under 100. So their defense is gelling at the right time. No Chris Middleton, no Jay Crowder, which kind of hurts their defense a bit. If Giannis doesn't play, it definitely hurts their defense a bit. But I think they've kind of developed a good enough defense without him in, as we saw as they kept the Clippers under 100 the other night, which is very, very hard to do. I think this is definitely a good play for that reason. Not to mention, again, if Giannis doesn't play, there goes 30 points of their offense per night. Again, Lillard's not going to score 30 on his own. You're going to need points from Beasley. You're going to need points from Lopez. You're going to need points from a lot of players, and you might not get it. They've shored up their defense. Their defense is ready to go. I think this is the game that we're going to see. I don't think it's going to be close to like low 90s to 100, but I think we're looking at maybe like 112 to 105, 110 to 106 if it stays close. Not to mention the Bucks as an underdog on the road have been absolutely. I think what was the stat? Let me find it again. Yeah, let me share this with y'all. Look at this right here. So this is team rankings. This is where I use a lot of my trends that I find, situational trends. I'll give out the source free to you guys. I gladly use this website. It's absolutely amazing. As an away underdog, Milwaukee has not hit an over once this year. They have hit 6 unders in games that they've been an away underdog. As an underdog in general, they've had 8 games as an underdog. They've only went over once, and I think that was the Pacers game that was like 140 to 130. They're on the road. Look, they're 18 of their 30 games have been unders. They have been absolutely dominant on the under. The Warriors are a different way in the trend. That's season long is the only problem with that site is you can't see like 5 games, 10 games. But again, in the last 10, the Warriors have been under machines. They're coming back home. They had a couple of days of rest, and they're coming out of a blowout. They're going to try to come out fast. They're going to try out quick, but I think the Bucks, if Giannis doesn't play, they're going to try to slow him down. Also, they don't really have anyone that can rebound. That's going to be the big problem tonight because, yeah, they do have a couple big men, but you have 3 7-footers. You got to stop down low. They're not going to be able to do that. I love the under here. We're going to take the under at 227.5. I would take it down to 226, maybe 225. If Giannis is out and it goes below 225, I'm staying away. I wouldn't touch that whatsoever. Even with Giannis in, if it takes 225, I would kind of keep it there because although Giannis is still good for 30, Draymond Green is a pest. Andrew Wiggins is a pest. They do have good defenders that are going to slow him down. I don't want to say they're going to stop him because they're not, but they're going to be able to slow him down enough if this is going to be a low-scoring game. They're going to be forcing the Warriors to play slow. So this is a good spot for an under here. And also, not to mention, if he doesn't play, they're 1-2 on the over-under this season. Their only over was like the first, I think 8th game of the season. It was in the first month against the Raptors, and they scored like 120 something and gave up 102 still. So their offense is still gonna kind of be there, but I think this is a better defense than what they were facing earlier in the year. And given the fact that this road trip is big, this is going to be a big way to kind of solidify themselves into the 2 spot, considering that Cleveland is pretty much out with Mitchell the next couple of days. Mobley just was announced set to miss time. They're going to be missing a lot of players. Max Strus is out tonight. They're going to be missing a lot of players, and this is going to be a big road trip for them to snag some wins. So again, give me the under 227.5. All right. Now, there's a play I did want to talk about. I'm not taking this personally, and I'll tell you guys the reason why. But it's something that I think it's worth looking at. I've seen a lot of people taking it lately. The Kings plus 2.5 and Kings money line is something that's really interesting to look at because the Kings are in a must-win spot right now, and this is an in-state rivalry. The spread is a lot closer than I personally would like it. I think they should be favored given the Lakers kind of back and forth play. The Lakers have the big men to dominate down low, but that's not what's going to be the problem, is that the Lakers do not have the perimeter defense to stop the shooting. You can grind down low as much as you want against this team, but if you can't, if every time you score a dunk and they hit a 3-pointer, you're still losing by at least 1 point every single time. This is a Kings team that has fixed kind of a shooting issue. Herter's kind of gotten his shot back lately, and they're going to be dominant outside if they want to win. And that's the reason why I didn't want to take this, is because if you're relying on the 3-point shot of a team who's kind of been iffy, but the shots, when the shot's there, they're dominant. I just didn't want to take it personally, but I do like the plus 2.5 money. You can get the money line at plus 140 on Caesars. I think it's 128 on Bet Rivers, and then everything else has it around 110. They're projecting a lot closer game. Every projection I've seen has actually had the Kings coming out on top. But again, this is LeBron in the last month of the season when he's in must-win scenarios. I don't know if I want to go against that right now. Unless one of them is sitting, which it looks like both of them are playing tonight between him and Anthony Davis. If one of them was sitting, I would take this. If not, since they're both playing, I'm going to stay away from it, but I'm going to watch it because, I'd rather be right and not have bet it and said, damn it, should have taken that, versus been wrong and lost some money on it. So we're going to stay away from that one. And now we're going to get into our parlay of the day. So the way we're going to do this month is anytime there's a boost available on DraftKings or FanDuel that we see or we haven't used already by the time we decide to make this, we're going to use that boost. And we're going to see what we get it at. So I used my boost already before I made this bet. If you have Fanatics where they do the daily power hour around 6 p.m., you can still catch this bet on that. And if you use their boost, it boosts it over 150, which is great because right now we have it at plus 118 over on FanDuel and BetMGM. But it's a 2-leg money line parlay. All we need is a win. We don't need a spread. We don't need... Damn, y'all hear those sirens? God, New York is hard to record in, especially when it gets hot outside. But all we need is a win. Simple as that. And it's 2 teams that have a must-win game tonight. We're taking the Magic money line, Chicago Bulls money line for our parlay of the day. It's plus 118 when I placed this about an hour ago. The line could have moved, but I'm going to check that right now. Okay. Well, this website doesn't help me. Let me apologize for that, guys. So while I'm finding this, let me pull it up and I'll tell you why I like this. I try not to over bet games because when I do, I feel like every time I do that, they don't win. You can get this 119 on FanDuel and MGM. Bet Rivers has it plus 104. DraftKings has it plus 116. Some sites have it all the way up at plus 121. Just not ones that are legal in New York right now. But the big reason why I like this, and I say these are must-win games, is this. We'll start with the Magic. If you look at the East, the difference between the 4th and the 10th place in the East, the bottom spot in the ninth place in the East is 1 game. Not even one game. It's 1.5 games. I'll pull the standings up for you guys. These wins against bad teams, none of these teams are in positions that they can't really afford to lose some of these games. And there's a big reason why. So right now, the Bulls are in 9th at 29-32. The Magic are in 4th at 36-26. You have, let's see here. Let me put this up here for you. So you see, look, these 3 spots we're not even worried about anymore. These are probably going to be the top 3 teams unless there's a major drop and a major hot streak between all these teams. But if you look, 4 and 5 are tied. 6th and 7th are tied. Now, obviously, Philly might have some more regression. They're going to probably be lower. Indy is a game and a half back. So a loss here and a win by Philly tonight will put them higher than the Heat and will drop them below the Knicks. You cannot lose to the Wizards when a loss means you could potentially go from a home court advantage in the first round to a play-in tournament. That is the key point here. And that's why they need to win. Yeah, I know they're tired. They won by like 18 last night against the Hornets. And if you look at the Bucks score, it looks like they really didn't do anything. Because I think Franz Wagner, he scored like 4 points last night. Anyway, they didn't really get as a lot of offensive output from people. And again, we already said this is going to be a more slow, methodical game. But this is a must-win spot against a team that is 9-52. They cannot afford to lose this game. They're minus like 250 right now because of it being a back-to-back. And Wizards have been really good at home covering spreads lately. But an 8-point spread is different than covering a 1-point spread. They can cover this 8-point spread all they want. I do not give a shit. I need the win. And I will gladly take them on the win. And now let's get to the Bulls side of this. Same thing. It is a must-win scenario if they want to stay alive. They're 9th right now. They're 5 games behind. And you have Brooklyn, who you could argue they could have a case to make it. We don't really know what they're doing. I don't think anyone does. They've kind of been through this identity crisis this year, and it feels like they're just kind of seeing what happens with the rest of the league before they make a push. But if you're Chicago, do you want to play Indiana or Philly or Miami right now? I would rather take Indiana rather than taking Philly with the possibility of Embiid being back, or Miami with the way they play in the playoffs. So a win here pretty much solidifies the helps get them up a spot, especially with a game that I think Atlanta will probably win tonight. Again, Cleveland's played so good without their star players. We don't know what's going to happen, but if Atlanta wins tonight, it puts a little bit more pressure on them. And that's going to be the big thing. If they win tonight, they stay 2 games ahead. If they lose and the Hawks win, it goes down to 1 game. And that's the big thing. So this is a must-win game against Utah. Utah has not played well over their last 10 games. I think they're 3-7 straight up over their last 10. There's no Markkanen, no Kessler, no I think Keontae George is also out. So they're going to rely on Sexton, who's going to have Caruso on him, Clarkson, who's going to have Caruso, DeRozan, and Desanmu on him, and Kobe White, and John Collins, who's going to have Vucevic on him and Andre Drummond on him. So look for rebound lines for some of these guys. I'm looking actually right now to see if there's a rebound line for Drummond and see what that is, because that might be something to take. Because I haven't really followed the Bulls that much this year. But I got to see if he's been starting lately real quick, because that actually might be a good player prop for us to take, is because I know they've been playing him and Vucevic together. No, okay, so if Caruso starts, he goes to the bench, but still 10 rebounds is his line, which means he's still going to get about 20 minutes a game, and they don't really have a big man down there. I think he might be someone, if you want to put a double-double parlay together, to watch out for. I think his double-doubles plus 200 last I saw. But either way, player prop-wise or not, they don't have the big men to guard the glass. All they have is John Collins. The Bulls are going to be playing 4 guards that can guard 1 through 5, especially with Caruso and DeRozan in the lineup. This is a perfect spot for the Bulls to get a win. on the road, which is something big they're going to need, especially on this West Coast trip they're about to be on. Give me the Bulls to win. Give me the Magic to win. We're going to take them at plus 118 right now on FanDuel and MGM for must-win games this late in the season. And let's cash that one easily. So that'll be it for us, guys. Unless anyone's got any plays they want to comment in the chat they want us to go over, take a look at. We got Magic Wizards under 224, 76ers Grizzlies over 210. Excuse me, sorry. Clippers Rockets, we're using the spread and the teaser at -2.5. We just have not found what we're using it with yet. And under 223 is our 1 unit play there. Bucks Warriors under 227.5. And our parlay of the day, Magic Bulls plus 118 on FanDuel. If you have a boost somewhere, I would use it in the boost. If you're a BetMGM user, they do have some boosts on BetMGM for college basketball, NHL. We're going to post some plays for that later. NHL has not been a good sport for us this year. College basketball, I've tried to stay away from because we are in March Madness. We got hurt last night when we tried to put something together for Eastern Kentucky versus Jacksonville. And Jacksonville, for the 5th time this year, Jacksonville has hurt me. We'll go into that story later. But if you followed us along, Jacksonville University, we took their over, they finished 1 point under. We took their under, they finished 1 point over. We took them to lose to the team that was favored to win the whole tournament, would most likely get the conference bid. They beat them by 8. This team just hates me, and I've just come to that conclusion that they hate me. So I'm just gonna not touch anything involved. If they make the tournament, I swear to God, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But nevertheless, those are our plays, our 5 plays, plus our parlay of the day. If you guys are Pickett users like myself, we have our full card available on Pickett. We may not be posting everything, but I'm posting my 6 best plays on Twitter. If you go to the Pickett app, you can search us up, Gotham Gambling. You'll see our full card available there, so make sure you guys follow us there. That's Pickett.com or the Pickett app in the app stores or Google Play Store, whatever phone you got. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe to our page, subscribe to For Frequency's Sake, subscribe to Gotham Gambling if you haven't already. Go to our YouTube, check that out. We're getting close to 100 subscribers. We're trying to get up to 500 by the time football season starts. So if you guys could smash that, share us with your friends. If you and your friends are degenerates like me and just love gambling and want to put some crazy stuff together, share our videos with them. Spread the love around. We're trying our best every day. We have some great college basketball content coming up this week. We have some great picks for March Madness, some sleepers to watch out for, some mid-major action to watch out for. So make sure you guys check all that out in the upcoming week or two. Thank you guys again for watching. Let's go have a great night in cash.